are you at, if I can ask both of you, as DeMarcus Walker's tweeting out, see, look at that guy in Baltimore who won an MVP and is about to win another one in Lamar Jackson, who is our DraftKings Player of the Week. Justin can do exactly that. Did you have that thought at all?
I mean,
Bears players are tweeting it.
I'm completely aligned. I tweeted a very similar tweet.
Okay.
I get it, but like the dude's going to be a 2-time MVP.
Yeah. Yes,
Like,
he is.
Do you know how many people got in trouble thinking that their quarterback could be Tom Brady during the Tom Brady era? Why can't my quarterback be Tom Brady? This Tom Brady's 6th-round pick.
That's foolishness.
But at some point, it's also foolishness to think Justin Fields
No, it's not.
can be Lamar Jackson.
Stylistically, yes, he absolutely can. There are no throws on the field that Lamar.
Stylistically, I'm talking about realistically.
I'm talking about realistically. There are no
Okay.
throws that Lamar Jackson can make that Justin can't. They can both make outstanding, amazing, jaw-dropping runs and make athletic plays.
But he doesn't.
What do you mean he doesn't?
He doesn't.
Do what?
He doesn't do what Lamar Jackson does. He doesn't throw for
He doesn't
4,000
play for
yards.
the Ravens is what he doesn't do.
Okay.
He doesn't have that type of infrastructure, that type of play calling, that type of talent around him, not an OC that leans into what he does. Like, Justin Fields has made plays that only he and Lamar Jackson, maybe Josh Allen, maybe Jalen Hurts, maybe Patrick Mahomes can make. Like, it's that kind of rare skill set, and people refuse to understand that there's more than one way to win a football game. Everybody's like, it's got to be 350 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be that way. You just have to win the game. There's lots of ways to do it. Justin's skill set certainly allows you to win football games. You talk about all the guys that are so much better, like Justin Herbert. Everybody's like, he's certainly better than Justin Fields. Okay, and what? He's better than Justin Fields. He's got a Hall of Fame wide receiver. He's got a Swiss Army knife in a running back. He's got 2 potential Hall of Fame pass rushers on the other side of the ball, and they suck. Like win the damn game. That's all I'm saying.
I'm really happy that I asked this question. It just sparked a good little cross feud. Listen,
I've been waiting to have this conversation.
Well, good.
Especially with Hoge, because Hoge is one of the very few people whose football opinions and minds I respect at such a high level. And I've told him that plenty of times. But as we've gotten further or closer to this decision that needs to be made, I'm like, I can't stand Hoge. Like,
but because it's a result of watching his tape, which I'm literally a half away of getting through the second Vikings game from being done with my entire rewatch. Okay, he regressed this year, man. He did, and I don't disagree with what you're saying. Stylistically, potential gets people fired.
Sure,
okay?
and they fired Luke Getson because he didn't unlock that potential.
It's just insane to just assume because of the tools Justin Fields has that he can be a guy who's already won 2 MVPs.
And it's not insane to assume that Caleb Williams is going to the Hall of Fame?
Well, I'm not assuming he is.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. I've never said that once. I've said that I think his floor is extremely high, and when you factor in the fact that you reset the rookie clock, the downside, it's his floor that Brad was just talking about too. It's the floor that makes me feel safe that at worst 2 or 3 years down the road you're going to be where you are with Justin Fields.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm safe with Justin's floor. You already have that guy. There are other problems on this team.
The ceiling
Quarterback isn't your problem. Caleb Williams might be better than Justin Fields. This is what I'm saying. Caleb Williams might be better than Justin Fields. And for the sake of argument, I'll even give you that. He's better than Justin Fields. I don't agree, but I'll give it to you.
Okay.
It doesn't change my point that you already have a quarterback that you can win the Super Bowl with. You have other problems. You have other needs. Go address them. I do not walk away from Bears losses and say, ooh, if we had a better quarterback, they would have won that game. In 3 years and watching the Bears lose, I haven't left those games like, if we had a better quarterback, we would have won. I've said a lot of different things about reasons that they lost, but not that reason. And you look at the stat sheet and it's like, oh, he only threw for 175 yards. So what? You can win with that if you choose to win with that.
You do get, though, I assume that when you say that you can win a Super Bowl with Fields, I mean, that is a big leap.
Yes.
You're making a big-ass freaking leap.
For anybody, sure. Lamar Jackson ain't won one yet. For anybody, it's a big leap to say he can go win a Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. I mean, but Lamar in his second season,
Yes.
36 touchdown passes.
Wonderful.
3,000 plus yards.
Understood.
Unanimous MVP.
And he deserved it.
And he deserved it.
Yeah.
And he's going to be the MVP again.
And he deserves it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he just took his team to the AFC Championship game with 150 passing yards when everybody says you can't have a quarterback that throws for $150. Yes, you can.
Right. But
play the game that way.
I hear you, but I mean, I just think it's almost like Justin is going to be 25 years old this year. Lamar is 27. I mean, this is a guy who's had an unbelievable start to his career that Justin just hasn't had. I think
he plays for a much better football organization. The Bears are trying to turn into that.
Okay,
they're trying to get that way. I don't think that kid's the problem.
I think you're forgetting that Lamar Jackson's wide receivers for most of the time he's been there have been pretty bad.
Yeah, they've been very bad. I agree with you. It's been mostly about the tight end as his number one target for sure.
So I just.
But again,
and they fired their OC last year. Like there's much more evidence that the success that they've had there is because of their quarterback just being good for having the MVP.
Yeah, I think the Bears quarterback is good. I don't think they've utilized him. I don't think they've put him in advantageous
there's no
positions.
question that's true. There's no question that's true.
Right, so just do that and he'll be fine.
And I think you're right literally in any other situation.
Except we have number one pick.
Yes.
And Caleb Williams is a Hall of Famer.
No.
I'm joking with you. Come on.
I know,
but supremely talented. Right. That's right.
But that's every time someone says that, like I yes, 99 out of 100 situations, I would roll with Justin. I think he has done enough. But this is the one. This is the one exception. It's not just that you have the number one pick, but it's the number
who the kid is.
It's who the kid is.
Well, let me ask you this question: do you agree that it's a bigger gamble for the Bears and Ryan Poles, who's going to get more time bringing in a rookie quarterback, talented dude at the top of the draft? Would you say it's a bigger gamble for the Bears to stick with Justin?
I wouldn't give him more time if Justin goes to said other team and explodes. I'd be pissed,
right?
Especially if Caleb comes in and he struggles. And I think that the Bears have positioned themselves with the Montez Sweat contract, with Cole Kmet's contract, with DJ Moore's contract. You're trying to win this thing in the next 2 or 3 years.
You did.
So maybe the kid's ready to do it 4 or 5 years from now.
You painted a scenario where, yes, you look that, okay, Caleb comes in, struggles, and Justin goes off and takes off elsewhere. Okay, yeah, sure. But
I think that's a bigger gamble. That's all I'm saying.
But wouldn't you agree that the odds are much greater that Caleb comes in here, plays at least somewhat well, and Justin goes somewhere else? It's gonna have to. There's no guarantee he's even gonna get to be a starter. Like, I don't.
Now there are 32 quarterbacks better than him.
But it's a great. It depends on the situation he goes to. I'm just saying it's a greater risk. All I'm saying is it's a greater risk for the Bears to pass on a guy who could be a supreme talent.
The thing that sucks about this whole thing is that, Herb, I agree with everything you're saying. With the one thing I don't agree with is that maybe his ceiling is Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. But I think assuming that he would just be Lamar Jackson even if he was in Baltimore is not giving Lamar Jackson enough credit.
Not assuming that, and I'm not trying to disrespect Lamar Jackson. He's phenomenal. He's like top tier, like generationally speaking. Yeah. I get that. I'm saying that style of football, which is clearly a skill set that Justin also has, you can win football games with. And the narrative that you can't, in this day and age, you can't play football that way. The hell you can't. Yes, you can.
Well, and that's not what I'm arguing. I agree with you on that. I think that the Bears should have and can and honestly will. If they keep Justin, they will win more games. That's not the debate here to me. It's just it's about looking at any position that you're trying to upgrade on your roster.
Sure.
And looking at what your best options are with cap space, with money, with all the factors included. And I honestly think if this was any other position that we were talking about, it would be an absolute no-brainer. To let's say Braxton Jones is not in a situation where you have to pay him like a huge contract.
That's a good situation. That's a good
combo. Let's say if he was, like, you were like, we got to make this decision on Braxton Jones, but generational offensive tackle who's definitely going to be the number one pick is right there for you, and you could just draft him right now, and he's, there's he might need a year to acclimate to the NFL,
or it might be Joe Thomas if Joe Thomas is there,
or he might just literally start every game for the next 10 years,
right.
that's a no-brainer decision. That you drafted a number one guy. So, and that's kind of why I hate having this discussion so much. Like, it really comes off like anybody who's all of a sudden becoming a Caleb Williams supporter is instantly being labeled as a Justin Fields hater.
I don't like that either.
And that part sucks.
Yeah, I
love like Justin. I've loved Justin since the moment they drafted him. I've said that. I love the fact that he's on. We see on Twitter yesterday he's in the facility working. Yeah. Jaquan Brisker's retweeting it saying that's my quarterback.
I just think it's a nuanced conversation that a lot of people don't want to have. Don't want to have nuanced conversations on Twitter. That's not what Twitter is for.
It's not.
Don't bring your nuance
over
here.
That's why I like
right?
to save it for the show.
Yeah. So because like I want nothing but the best for Caleb Williams. Wherever that kid goes, I hope he reaches his full potential and he becomes a Hall of Famer. Like, no, I'm not even playing. Like, I really hope the kid reaches his full potential. I'm just saying that come September, I think the Bears would be in a better position if they've got Justin Fields, Marvin Harrison Jr., DJ Moore, Cole Kmet than they would if they had Caleb, DJ, and hopefully you got Rome sitting there for him at 9 or whoever else. That like, I just think collectively, the picks, everything else, I don't think that quarterback is such a big problem for you. I don't think you have a quarterback that you cannot win with, so you have to go somewhere else. We went to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman, right? We thought we could go to the Super Bowl with Mitch Trubisky, but you're telling me we can't do that with Justin Fields and we have to replace him, and that's the only way we can get there? I don't believe that.
Right, but they didn't win the Super Bowl. You're talking about, I mean, look at what's going on right now. The Kansas City Chiefs have won it twice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, because it's freaking hard to win it. They
got Mount Rushmore.
That's right. But they've been there. But they're in the conversation every single year because of that. So the Bears would be drafting Caleb because they think they're drafting someone of that ilk. That's why. That's
what I'm saying. Like the fact that y'all don't think it's crazier to think this kid is going to be on Mount Rushmore than it is to say you can win with just that's. The kid could be great. I'm talking about
Herb. They're taking a big swing.
Mahomes and Brady and Rodgers and Manning or whoever. Like it's not.
But they're taking a big swing. They're going for it. I mean, don't you applaud that?
Sure, swing for it, Pose.
I mean,
you better be right.
But yeah,
you better be right because the moment somebody utilizes Justin properly, he's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah. The problem is on the other side of that, if I don't disagree with you, but on the other side of that, if you keep Justin and he's the same guy this time next year, and Caleb Williams just won NFL Rookie of the Year, and you passed on the last two Rookie of the Years, that's probably worse.
That is worse.
Okay.
And I'm just saying that's realistic.
Listen, I don't disagree with that. You know what I'm saying? I look at CJ Stroud like that dude is balling. You know what I mean? Like,
but I think he gets a pass for CJ Stroud because this situation, it seems like it's the same situation.
Yeah.
It's not the same situation.
No.
Because you didn't have 13 more games of tape to evaluate on Justin.
No.
And at minimum, he improved in a couple areas, which was he took care of the ball better mostly the second half of the season.
Sure.
Overall, though, he really didn't take a step forward. Otherwise, we're not having this conversation.
I'm not disagreeing with that either, right? I'm not going to sit here and argue with like facts and all the statistics and the fourth quarter numbers and the turn. I don't deny that all you say is true on those things. I'm simply saying there is a way to win football games other than this traditional way that we seem to be set on. Like we can't play any other way. It's not true. All you have to do is win this week's game. Whatever that requires is what it requires. If we run it 40 times, we run it 40 times. If we throw it 40 times, we throw it 40 times. Don't tell me about your system. Tell me about your roster and then tailor a game plan to make them most successful.
Well, I agree. And that's which brings us back to Shane Waldron.
Exactly. That's why he's here.
Which while I've said it on this show, I've been saying it all along, I do think that he can work with both of these quarterbacks. I also look at the West Coast style offense, and I find it hard to believe that
he gets it out.
Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm sure he'll paint a different picture whenever he talks to the media because he's going to say he can work with Justin.
They're going to take that thing up into the trade or whatever.
If I could have been, a fly on the wall of that interview, I have a feeling that when asked the question, which of these two quarterbacks fits your scheme better, he's going to say the quarterback that gets the ball out faster and has much more evidence of timing routes and things like that.
See, that's like the interesting part of it to me right now because I feel like I'm a step slow on strategy and these things and how these things get played out. So, but just talking it through on the show today, It just seems to it, and maybe I'm wrong too, but it feels a whole lot like Caleb. Just that's his strategy.
But I would have said that about any West Coast system.
I got it.
Like, and that's the problem with Justin is that honestly, because I agree with what you're saying, Herb. Mm-hmm. I do think if you bring it and Greg Roman probably would have done that.
Sure.
But
and by the way,
he's just never going to be the quick, on-time quarterback.
And I'm saying he doesn't have to be.
Right, but he might in this system is the problem.
And for the record,
probably not. You know what I mean? Probably not. But I just think So I'm with you. I think it's definitely like every time somebody asks me what I would do, I'm on record with that. When they ask me what I think it's about to happen, I think they're about to draft Caleb Williams, right?
Yeah. Right.
And fine, I'll root for the kid and hope he brings a Super Bowl here, right? Yeah. I just don't think that your quarterback is such a big problem that you have to go that way when you have another path. I think that you look at like the Brock Purdy's and no, Brock Purdy's better than Justin. What the fuck he's not? Like put Brock Purdy in Soldier Field with that Bears team and that offensive coordinator. He's not going crazy. Or you put Justin out there with Debo and George Kittle and Ayuk and McCaffrey, like
Justin,
and Shanahan.
I'll tell you one area Justin's definitely better when he is a wet football to handle.
Oh.
Brock Purdy didn't even know what to do with that.
He admitted it too.
Brock's taking a big left turn here at the end of the season and into the playoffs. For just as we wrap this up for today's conversation, I'll say it again. In my ideal utopian world, they do it with Justin. I think it'd be a much more fun, wholesome, cool story if that happened. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I'm not like get that idiot out of here. You know, like that's not how I feel about it. It doesn't have to
be either or, and I don't like how Twitter turns it into that. Like either if I love
and brags.
Yeah, if I love Justin, then I hate Caleb, and if I love Caleb, I hate Justin. Now that's not true. Like I love Justin, and I want the absolute best for Caleb, and I think people can feel the same way in reverse.
We all silly like the mayor.